Welcome to Reset Monday. Today we're talking about hydration and dehydration and inflammation. So many people will say to me, how can I possibly be dehydrated? I drink water all the time. And this is great that they're drinking enough water or they think they're drinking enough water. But you can be inflamed and dehydrated all at the same time. I'm going to show you exactly how your body works, how your cells work, how your cells retain water, how they flush water, and what actually happens in the process. And then we're going to talk to you a little bit about how you can fix this situation. If your cells are dehydrated and your body's inflamed, we need to get all that water flushed out and rehydrate the cells. So first of all, I have a grape, and your cells should be very plump. Cells should have a lot of water in them. They should be super plump. Everything that dictates your health and your wellness is in the cell. It comes from inside that cell. So if you don't have enough water inside your cell, if your cells are not plumped up like grapes, then your health is going to suffer. So here's what happens. When we get exposed to different toxins in the world, so it could be a poor diet, it could be toxins in the air, it could just be that you aren't drinking enough water, or maybe you're drinking things that are causing dehydration, like excess amounts of caffeine. Even a little bit of caffeine will cause dehydration. Toxins such as household products. It's summertime, so a lot of people are slathering toxic sunscreen on their skin. They're using toxic fertilizers on their lawn or to kill bugs or Roundup. So all of these toxins are surrounding us. And what happens is, so we should have the water in the cell like a grape. But when that happens, the body actually needs water to put a droplet of water around that toxin to be able to safely get it out of the body. So if there's not enough fluid floating through and around these cells to bind with those toxins to get them flushed out, it's going to pull it from somewhere, and it pulls it from inside the cell. So the cell starts to dehydrate, and we end up getting a shriveled up grape, which is a raisin. But for today's purposes, I have an apricot. It's still a dried piece of fruit. This once was fully hydrated. The reason I chose an apricot is because the store actually didn't have raisins and we didn't have them in the house. And I was gonna buy plums, but then the plums had silicon dioxide in them and I didn't want to spend $6 on a container of plums I wasn't gonna eat. So I have these. There's no chemicals in these. These are just dried apricots. So you take all the fluid out and you get a dried piece of fruit. And so we'll just call this a raisin for now. When this dries up, we don't have enough fluid inside of it to perform all the functions that our body needs. This means your hormones could go wacko. If you suffer from chronic headaches, chronic joint pain, what's actually happening is that your cells are shriveled up, your body isn't hearing a clear message, and then you have excess fluid on the outside of the cell trying to bind with those toxins to get them safely out of the body. So we have dehydration on the inside of the cell, and we have inflammation on the outside of the cell. The body is just trying to survive and get those toxins out because that's the only safe way to do it. When it can't get those toxins out, it will store all those toxins into the fat tissue. And this is oftentimes why a lot of people will have trouble losing weight, because they don't have a safe way of getting the toxins out of the body. So how do we make this shift? What do we need to do? First of all, if you're someone watching this video and you're thinking, I drink so much water, I'm gonna float away if I drink any more water, well, there are things that we need to do to rehydrate the cell and bring it back to a grape. And that is, you have to start eliminating toxic substances from your diet and from your life, because we are exposed to things that we don't even know sometimes. There are things being sprayed into the air that we have no idea when, what, or how. When I was pregnant, I remember being wakened up 3 mornings in a row at 6 a.m. by an airplane flying overhead. And I couldn't figure it out. I thought maybe they were having flying lessons or something. So I called up the township and they told me they were spraying for gypsy moths. Now, no one ever asked my permission to do this. They didn't tell me it was happening. They claimed it was on the news. I said, well, I don't really watch the news, and I should have had a letter or something. But this kind of thing is going on all the time. Even your neighbors, when you come into your neighborhood, you're going to smell if your neighbors are spraying toxic things on their lawn. Everybody wants this perfectly green lawn. I don't know if you can see, but I have a lot of clover and a lot of dandelions in my lawn. This is, to me, is a perfect lawn. It's diverse and it's amazing. And if your body's functioning correctly, this is what your gut will look like. But if your gut is struggling, you're going to have shriveled up cells like a raisin. So start to eliminate, look at what you're doing from an environmental perspective. Are you someone who uses a lot of dyes, perfumes? Do you use a lot of body lotions? Just the chemicals in your makeup, the chemicals in everything that surrounds you on a daily basis. Your shampoo, your conditioner, your toothpaste, that's all toxic chemicals. So if you are struggling with things like chronic pain, headaches, any autoimmune issue is an issue of inflammation in the body, and the cells are not functioning properly. So we have to start to unravel what you're doing, and it's just those small steps on a daily basis. So when it comes to food, my top 3 are no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or colors. And you have to watch the labels very carefully, because the food industry and the beverage companies will sneak things in there, and they don't really have to tell you that they put in things like sucralose, which is Splenda. So if you eat something and it tastes sweet and it says 0 carbs on the packaging, that means 100% it has some kind of artificial sweetener in there. Now, it may have stevia, and only if it's 100% organic stevia leaf, which comes from the plant, which I highly doubt that's what they're using in food, otherwise they would label it like that. That's the only acceptable way. If you're using products like Truvia, which are the package, they come in little packets, that has erythritol in it. And a lot of foods contain, or low carb foods, I should say, contain erythritol, maltitol. Those are called sugar alcohols, so the OL on the end. So if you see that can really disrupt your gut microbiome, which affects the cells and how they function. It can cause dehydration. It can cause, again, disruption in many parts of your hormonal cycle. It can affect sleep. It can affect digestion. There's a multitude of things. So maybe you have skin rashing. A lot of people will have the little bumps on the back of their arms. That's food sensitivity. You need to test that, figure out which one it is. It's mostly dairy. And so if you can eliminate the dairy, oftentimes you can start to clear up those bumps, but you have to fix these guys too. So we eliminate, that's process number 1. We have to increase our fluid intake, but oftentimes we have to increase our electrolytes. That doesn't mean going out and drinking Gatorade. What that means is that you've got to maybe add a pinch of high quality unrefined sea salt, like Himalayan pink salt, or even the Redmond salt. So those are really high quality salts, just a little pinch in your water every day, and you can start to balance out your electrolytes. Most people are deficient in magnesium, calcium, and all of those really good quality minerals that we need for just about every cellular function. So if you are nutritionally deficient, your cells are not going to work properly. So we have elimination, and then we have to start to strategically come in and kill off the bad bugs. And we can do that with a variety of things. Oftentimes I'll prescribe for my patients highly concentrated aromatic essential oils, a specific combination at a certain level. This is taken in capsule form. You cannot get enough if you're just doing drops, plus it can be really caustic if you're taking it without any buffer, like a capsule of sort. The other thing that I use is high quality silver, so a liquid silver that helps to go in and kill the bad guys. And then once we've killed off the bad guys, and we can do this in conjunction as well, But as we're killing, we need to come in and replenish with the good guys. So you have to have a strategic approach to how you recolonate the gut. And a lot of people will just go for the fermented foods, you can do fermented foods, but if they make it worse, that means you have a problem called SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. So we have to back off on the probiotics and the fermented foods until we can fix and correct the SIBO, and then we can go back to the other stuff. So there's a lot of strategy to getting these cells rehydrated and getting them away from their shriveled up state. This really is just a way to bring awareness to the fact that if you're somebody who's drinking a lot of water and you are still having joint pain, or you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my gosh, my hands feel so full, you get that puffiness in your hands, your ankles, your feet, then your cells are probably dehydrated and your body is inflamed because it is retaining water in an effort to put those little water droplets around those toxins to get them safely out of the body. So start first with looking around your environment, eliminating the toxic elements that you have on a daily basis. The average woman puts over 200 toxic chemicals on her body every morning before she leaves the house. So there is definitely room for improvement. You can look at all natural skincare. You can look at natural makeup. You can use natural toothpaste, or even just food-grade hydrogen peroxide, or even aluminum-free baking soda. There are natural shampoos and conditioners. There's a whole slew of things that you can do, but pick what is going to be the easiest for you. So maybe it's cleaning up your diet. Maybe you know that you're having too much sugar. Yes, sugar is a toxin. And if that's the case, then start there. Challenge yourself. Can I eat under 90 grams of carbohydrates a day? That would be a great challenge. You would feel really amazing. And within about 2 to 3 days, you'll notice you're probably going to be going to the restroom a lot. So you're going to be urinating a lot. You're going to be having more bowel movements because now you've eliminated those toxins that are mucking up the system. And then you've got to get that water intake up. So you could squeeze fresh lemon juice in there, make sure it's organic, and then again, put that little pinch of sea salt in there. And if you need help beyond this, then reach out to me, because we can definitely get you tested, check your gut bacteria, see what's happening there, do some basic lab work, but from a functional medicine perspective, and put a different lens on it. Because these are also the people, and maybe I'm speaking to you, who say, my doctor tells me I'm fine, but I know I just don't feel well. So if you're fatigued, if you're going through menopause and you're struggling with the hot flashes and the weight gain, and you can't build muscle, and your skin is sagging. I mean, there's a whole slew of things that we could go through, but a lot of this can be caused from dehydration with inflammation, but we need to get the fluid back into the cell and flush those toxins out of the body. I also offer very safe ways for detoxifying the body. There's no gimmick in there, and it's just straight up, we're using nutrients as well as strategizing your food. So if you think you need help with this, reach out to me. Leave a comment below. Does this sound like you? You're inflamed, but you're feeling dehydrated. Again, symptoms of dehydration: chronic headaches, chronic pain, chronic joint pain, autoimmune issues, gut issues, even cancers can be an inflammatory condition that is causing your cells to be dehydrated. So how can we correct that? Let's move the fluid inside the cell by getting rid of the toxins, but again, that's a strategy. Start with eliminating the toxic elements that are the obvious ones to you, okay? All right, that's your Reset Monday. And drop a comment below. Where are you gonna start? Let me know. And if you need help, reach out to me, because I can definitely help you get to the next level so that we can turn this thing around once and for all. Remember, summer days, gotta hydrate, 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 and make sure that you are getting rid of all those nasty toxins causing all these chronic health issues that none of us really need. So let's get your vitality back. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Please share this. Make sure you like this channel, subscribe, and let everybody know we're here, because we're just trying to change the world one video at a time. All right, talk to you soon.